In this video, I'll be discussing how to do a sample exchange for a Talos TEM, specifically the sample holder insertion and removal steps. So just FYI, in the video, I'm using a double tilt holder, but the procedure is actually the same for a single tilt holder with the exception of the steps where I attach and remove the beta tilt cable. So let's start with the TEM holder insertion steps. So to begin with, this is the sample exchange area on the front of the Talos. There's a couple of things I want to point out. This is the spot where we attach the cable. When we're inserting the sample, we will be opening the column valve, so we turn the holder counterclockwise. When we are removing the sample, we are going to be closing the column valve, so we turn the holder clockwise. Lastly, this little marking tells us how the pin should be oriented as we're putting the holder in the microscope. This is the holder itself, and the first step we want to do is clean off the O-ring. So use a clean, ungloved finger to remove any debris, such as dust or hair. Now for the sample insertion, we need to reset the stage. So click the Reset X, Y, Z, Alpha, Beta button and wait for those values to zero out. Then click the Load Sample button. And then I have two different views showing the insertion. So we'll bring the holder up to the hole and orient it so that the pin on the holder is lined up with that marking on the outside. Now we go in as far as we can. There'll be some resistance at the end from the O-ring. Just push it in, and then you know it's in far enough when this little slot is halfway in. Now the system will ask you what holder you're using. If you're using a double tilt holder, you will also have to connect the cable. And so I wait a little bit to make sure that the holder isn't going to move, and then I go ahead and attach the cable. I do need to wiggle it a little bit to make sure it's on securely, and then I can click Done on the LED screen. Now we're going to wait for the system to pump. This takes about 2 minutes, but don't walk away from the microscope because as soon as it's done, you want to put the holder into the microscope. You do that by turning it counterclockwise as far as it goes, guiding it in, making sure it goes in all the way, and then tapping it on the back. Now let's talk about holder removal. So again, we need to click the Reset X, Y, Z, Alpha, Beta button, then we can click the Remove Sample button. If you're using a double tilt holder, take the cable off, and then pull the holder out as far as it will go. As I pull it out, you'll see me stopping because I'm going to be watching the column vacuum. If this jumps up, I stop, wait for it to go back down, and then continue pulling the holder out. This ensures that I don't dump the column. Once it's out as far as it will go, I turn it clockwise as far as it goes, and then I gently pull it all the way out. So there you have it. This is how we do sample exchange on the Talos TEM.